Hey, I'm Jem. If you're a business owner, you know exactly how this feels. You're working nonstop, you're juggling calls, clients, and tasks, but somehow, when you finally look at your bank account, it's not growing at the rate you expected based on all the effort you're putting in. And if you're being honest, it's frustrating, right? You're busy, but you're not necessarily getting richer. Well, here's the truth that most business owners don't realize soon enough. They're tracking the wrong numbers. They obsess over revenue, they chase bigger sales, they celebrate more leads, but they ignore the one financial metric that actually determines whether you scale like a millionaire or struggle like a wannabe. Today, I'm breaking down the exact metric for you and not just the definition. I'm going to give you three simple actionable steps with real examples so you can immediately start optimizing it in your business. We're talking about these three things, which are the power of client acquisition costs, CAC, how to maximize customer lifetime value, CLV or LTV, how to bring it down using hyper-specific targeting. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with a clear, practical roadmap to sustainable, predictable, profitable growth. And hey, if you're tired of trying to scrape leads together and you just want shortcuts to profit, I've got you. I offer and sell pre-qualified leads, the kind who are actually ready to buy right now. If you want to skip the hardest part, which is getting leads, check out the links in the description. All right, let's get into this. Before we can fix the problem, we need to understand what the problem really is. And for most businesses, here's the harsh truth. They're they're just burning through cash trying to find new customers. Not because they're bad at what they do, but they've never been taught how to measure the cost of getting a customer the right way. Client acquisition cost, the millionaire metric. The metric we're talking about, the one that separates the millionaires from the wannabes, is client acquisition cost, or CAC. Let's keep it simple. CAC equals how much money you spend to get one new paying customer. Now, here's the big difference. Here's where the big difference lies, really. A wannabe thinks spending $500 to land a $1,000 client is a win. A millionaire is landing that same $1,000 client for $100 consistently, predictably, month after month. That extra $400 they didn't spend, that's the difference between struggling and scaling. And once you multiply this by a lot of clients, you see the difference on how one business would look like compared to the other in terms of these costs. Millionaires don't have high revenue. They have a low controlled CAC. They know exactly how much it costs for them to acquire a new customer, and they optimize it relentlessly. So let me walk you through step by step. So through how you can start calculating, understanding, and reducing your CAC starting today. Step one, calculate your current customer acquisition cost. This is your baseline, and most business owners have never actually done this. Here's how you do it. Add up all your sales and marketing expenses for the month. That means everything like ads, salaries, contractor fees, telemarketers, CRM software, tools, consultants, anything used to get customers. Divide that total by the number of new customers you acquired that month. Let's say you run a local HVAC repair business in Phoenix, Arizona. Last month, you spent $5,000 on Google Ads, $1,000 on a part-time telemarketer, $500 on CRM software. Total spend $6,500. You brought in 50 new customers. Now you calculate. 6,500 divided by 50 is $130 as your customer acquisition cost. This means that every time you bring in a new customer, it costs you $130. Most business owners don't know this number, so they can't really optimize it, but now you do. And this is where things actually get interesting because you know this number now. Okay. Step two, identify your highest cost channels. Not all marketing channels are created equal. Some are efficient money makers. Others are high cost black holes draining your profits. You want to figure out which one is which. And here's how you do it. Look at each channel separately. Identify which ones cost a lot but deliver little. Identify which ones bring in customers cheaply and consistently. So I have a real example for you here. When I work with HVAC owners, I run a detailed audit on their ad spend. In this Phoenix example, here's what you might discover. Your broad Google Ads campaign targeting AC repair near me is costing $200 per lead. And, that is very expensive. But a simple Facebook campaign targeting new homeowners in Scottsdale is only costing $50 per lead. Same business, same market, but wildly different costs. This is where millionaires are made, by knowing what channels deserve investment and which ones need to go right away. Step 3. Cut the fat and double down on winners. Now that you know which channels work and which ones burn cash, it's time to make strategic moves. Pause the expensive, low return channels. Reallocate that budget to the channels with the best ROI. I have an actionable example for you here. You cut your general Google Ads campaign. You take that freed up budget and push it into the hyper targeted Facebook campaign. Your total spend stays at $6,500, but now you acquire 75 customers instead of 50. The new CAC is 6,500 divided by 75, which is $86.67, which is, almost a 50% reduction from the $130 we were getting for our customer acquisition cost, which is Google Ads. Here, you didn't increase revenue, you didn't increase ad spend, you didn't hire anyone new, you just boosted your profit margin by over 30%, or close to 50. That right there is the power of focusing on CAC. Now, reducing your CAC is only half of the equation. The other part is just as important, and this is where most businesses leave money on the table. Because once you know how to reduce the cost of getting customers, you need to make sure that every customer you get is worth as much as possible. Maximizing customer lifetime value, or just lifetime value. The second critical step is maximizing your LTV, or CLV. CLV is the total revenue you can expect from a single customer over the entire duration of your relationship with them. Think of it as the full story of the customer, not just the first chapter. And here's why this matters. If your CLV is $1,000 and your CAC is $130, you've got a strong, healthy business. But if your CLV is $300 and your CAC is $130, suddenly your business becomes fragile. One slow month, one bad campaign, and your profits collapse. That's why millionaires use a simple rule. Your CLV, or LTV, should be at least 3x your CAC at minimum. So let me show you how to dramatically increase your CLV or LTV with practical steps, real examples, and a strategy you can apply immediately. Implement a next step offer immediately after the first sale. Most businesses make a huge mistake. They complete the first sale, then sit and wait for the customer to come back someday. Maybe. The problem is someday rarely comes. So instead, you want to offer a logical, low friction next step immediately after the first transaction. Not pushy, not salesy, just a natural next thing that helps the customer get even better results. Let's say a digital marketing agency in New York City just closed a one-time website redesign project for $8,000. They stop there, their CLV or LTV is $8,000, but they don't stop there, okay? The moment the website is launched, literally right after delivery, they present two offers: a $500 per month website maintenance and security package, a $1,500 per month SEO and content strategy retainer. And here's the key. They frame these not as extra services, but as protection for their client's investment. Instead of a $8,000 LTV, now they positioned to turn that $8,000 plus $6,000 a year plus $18,000 a year automatically, okay? This is how you scale. That's how millionaires think. You're just bolting on these additional services here, okay? Now, step 2 is creating a tiered service ladder. People grow, businesses grow, and your offers should grow with them. Think of your services as a ladder, and your customers should always know what the next step is. Most businesses offer one thing. Millionaire businesses offer a path. When I help digital agencies, I run a service mapping exercise to design this exact progression. Example service ladder for a New York agency. Number 1, website redesign, $8,000. Number 2, maintenance package, $6,000 a year. Number 3, SEO retainer, $18,000 a year. Number 4, full CMO package, $60,000 a year. It could be fractional CMO as well. Do you see the progression here though? Each step builds on the previous one. Each step delivers more value, and each step increases LTV, CLV dramatically. The clients don't feel upsold. They feel supported as they grow. The final step is one that separates amateurs from pros. Millionaire businesses don't wait for customers to ask for more. They predict what the customer will need next using data and reach out before the customer even thinks about it. Detailed and actionable example here is, let's go back to our NYC agency. Inside their CRM, they track clients who've been on the $1,500 per month SEO retainer for 12 months. These clients have seen a 50% increase in organic traffic, which is a strong indicator that they're ready to scale. So, what does the agency do? They schedule a growth review meeting, not a sales pitch, a review. During that meeting, they show the progress, highlight opportunities, and present the $60,000 per year as CMO package as the next natural step. If just 1 out of 10 clients take that upgrade, the agency's LTV, CLV jumps from $8,000 to over $20,000 per customer. That's the power of intentional, proactive re-engagement. So now we've done two things here, okay? We've lowered your customer acquisition cost, and we've increased your LTV, your lifetime value or total value of every customer, which is CLV. But there's one final piece here, and it's the one that makes your profits predictable, stable, and scalable, because none of this works if you're targeting the wrong people to begin with. One of the biggest mistakes I see business owners make, and I mean constantly, is trying to sell to everyone. They think the wider the net, the bigger the catch. But in reality, when you try to sell to everyone, you end up selling to no one. Your marketing gets watered down, your message gets ignored, and your CAC goes through the roof because you're spending money on people who were never qualified in the first place. So, what's the solution here? Hyper specific targeting. This is the key to predictable profit, not just more sales, but more of the right sales. Let me walk you through the 3-step process for defining and finding your perfect high LTV customer. Define your ideal customer profile with financial filters. Forget just demographics, forget general industries, forget vague categories like small business owners. You want to define your ideal customer profile based on financial readiness and ability to pay for your highest tier service. This is where most business owners fail. They target people who need them, not people who can afford them. Let's take a commercial cleaning service in Dallas, Texas as an example here. Instead of targeting all small businesses, they get laser specific. Ideal ICP, okay? Commercial property management companies in Dallas Fort Worth area with a portfolio of 5+ Class A office buildings and a minimum annual maintenance budget of $100,000. This is precise, this is intentional, and this filters out 95% of the time wasters instantly. Once you know exactly who you want, you can go out and find only them. Okay. This is where tools come in, which are really important tools here. LinkedIn Sales Navigator, industry databases, local business registries, public records, NAICS industry records, which are really important, commercial property databases. When I help service businesses, I build a list that actually only contains their ICP and nothing else. Okay. For Dallas Cleaning Service, they research and identify the top 20 property management firms that meet their strict criteria, which is an example I'm going to go through right now. Not 2,000 random businesses, not 500 maybe fits, just 20 perfect prospects who have the budget, have the need, have the infrastructure, and have the potential to be long-term, high LTV clients, which is why we want quality or quantity always. Craft a message that speaks directly to their pain and profit. Once you know who you're talking to, your message has to be tailored to them, not the general public. And here's the big shift. Your outreach should never be about your service. It should be about their pain and their profit. The Dallas cleaning service doesn't need a generic message like, we clean office buildings. That message is dead on arrival. Instead, they send a message to the CEO of a property management firm that sounds like this. And again, this is an example from the previous ones. We specialize in reducing tenant complaints by 40% in Class A buildings, which directly impacts your lease renewal rates. We currently service competitor's name, portfolio, and would love to show you how we can add $50,000 to your annual NOI. This is laser sharp. This is financially focused. And this is exactly why this kind of message produces a dramatically higher response rate. Instead of spending thousands on ads that target random people, they spend a few hours sending strategic, high-value outreach that lands premium clients. Their CAC drops, their revenue rises, their profits stabilize. That's the power of hyper-specific targeting. So, Now that we covered the three pillars of profitable, predictable business growth, and we've covered everything, okay? We, we've done that. But before we wrap this up, okay, let's quickly revisit the full game plan and talk about what this actually means for you moving forward. Let's recap because these three pillars are the foundation of scaling your business like a millionaire instead of struggling like a wannabe. First, you lower your client acquisition costs by auditing your channels, cutting the ones that drain your cash, and doubling down on the ones that consistently bring in affordable, high quality clients. Second, you maximize your customer lifetime value by building a clear, intentional service ladder, one that naturally guides clients into higher tier, higher value offers over time. And third, you use hyper specific targeting to make sure you're only marketing to the people who actually have the budget, the authority, and the desire to work with you. When you combine these three things together, everything changes. Your sales become predictable, your profit margins increase, your marketing spend becomes efficient, your business becomes scalable, and your growth becomes consistent instead of chaotic. This is the blueprint that separates real entrepreneurs from those who stay stuck. And here's the best part. You don't have to do everything at once. Even just improving one of these pillars will move forward your business dramatically. But when you implement all three, that's when your entire business transforms. Now, if all of this sounds like a lot of work, or if you're ready to skip the trial and error and completely jump into just closing deals, remember I sell pre-qualified leads. They're already vetted, already interested, already ready to talk. Click the link in the description if you want to inject high value prospects straight into your pipeline today. And if you want my team to build this entire lead generation system for you, just reach out directly. You can also check out my free training and my email newsletter so you can be on top of all the new latest trends regarding lead generation. Thank you so much for watching. And if you found value in this video, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell so you don't miss any of the strategies that I share on this channel. Take care.